This week marks 9 years that I've been living in Panama. Time really does fly. In this video, I'm going to tell you the true story of how and why I moved to Panama. Your challenge for today is to practice your listening skills and try to catch as many idioms as you can. Leave them in the comments and bonus points if you can tell me what they mean. Welcome back to Lots Learning. I'm your teacher, Amanda Lots, and I teach you better English so you can be more successful. Now, if you've seen my videos before, I normally try to speak very clear and neutral so everyone on different levels can understand me, but not today. I'm going to speak naturally as I would with a friend or family member. My grammar might not be perfect. It might be difficult to understand me, but I challenge you to practice listening without using subtitles if you can. But remember, when you're interacting with a native English speaker, while you're traveling or at work, you're not going to have subtitles to lean on. So this is good practice. It all started in my home state of Wisconsin. I was finishing my degree in education and I was engaged to a wonderful man. We'll call him Jerry. And one day, Jerry and I were watching TV with his parents. I think the show was called House Hunters. I don't remember. But there was this episode where this couple was looking for a house in a foreign country. They wanted a luxury home that was in a small town and close to nature and had cultural experiences. And something about this episode really clicked with me. So I remember having a chat with Jerry about it and telling him, this is what I want. I don't want to stay in my hometown or even stay in my home state. I wanted adventure. I wanted a challenge. I wanted excitement and culture. And Jerry didn't really share this value. He was a bit more traditional and he wanted to stay close to home and he had strong family values, which was amazing, but it just didn't align with what I wanted. So after watching that episode, I was really at a crossroads. I knew that Jerry was a wonderful partner and we were already engaged and had all these beautiful plans. I had no choice but to end the engagement and I started to make plans to live somewhere else. Once I finished university, I taught at a preschool for 1 year, but during that year of teaching, I was also planning my escape. Honestly, it was really overwhelming to try to decide where I'd go. The world was my oyster. I had nothing tying me down, and I really wasn't sure what I was looking for. But then I remembered a friend that I had back in high school who was from Costa Rica. Though he was born in the US, his family was originally from Costa Rica. So I started doing research there. And Costa Rica is a gorgeous country, and the people are wonderful. So originally I thought, let's start there. As I was doing my research, I also came across Panama, which is right next to Costa Rica. So the reason I ended up pulling the trigger on Panama is because Panama uses the US dollar. It has the same type of climate and landscape as Costa Rica, which I was vibing with. And the visa options for Americans moving to Panama were a lot easier. So in Costa Rica, you get a 3-month visa. Panama, at the time, it was a 6-month visa. And really, that was it. All I needed was a warm place that was affordable and had a sense of adventure. So I figured, why not? I'm going to bite the bullet and go with the flow and see how everything works out. So I finished my year at the preschool. I sold all of my belongings, which honestly wasn't much because I've always been quite a minimalist. By the way, I got my first ESL certification before leaving. I got it through ITTT, which I highly recommend. I have continued my education with them. I've got more certificates with them. I will always choose them. So if you're ever interested, I highly recommend. They're great. So I had my TESOL certification and I had my 4 bags of clothes. I headed to the airport with my mom. And then once I arrived, I was told the fees for all my bags and I just couldn't do it. It was way too expensive. And I decided right there in the airport, I'm going to unpack, repack, start from scratch, and reassess what I needed. And then gave my mom all the things I decided not to take with me. So I literally went with a lighter load, only 2 bags and a backpack. And that was it. I did not have a job lined up. I did not have an apartment. I did not know anyone. I had never been there before. I didn't speak any Spanish. I mean, other than just some basics like hello, goodbye, and some numbers. I was truly taking a leap of faith. I had no plan and I was just going to go with the flow, see where the wind would take me. And that was it. I landed in Panama, and honestly, that was the first time that nervousness and excitement and a little bit of panic started to sink in. I did book a hostel for the first 2 months because I figured it might take me some time to get to know the neighborhoods and the areas. Hostels would give me an opportunity to meet new people and just explore and have fun. I love the hostel. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore, so I can't recommend it. I had always planned to stay in Panama City. It's the capital, it's where the most job opportunity is. There's a lot of expats there. So that was the plan. Once I arrived, I realized Panama City is not my vibe. And I wanted to go somewhere else, but I had absolutely no idea where to go. So now I'm really starting from scratch. I didn't know where to go. So I was talking to some other people in the hostel. They asked, Amanda, what do you want from Panama? What are you looking for, really? And I was like, you know what? I think I just need to be around nature. So they suggested I go to Bocas del Toro, which are islands just off the Caribbean coast of Panama. And I was like, cool, island vibe, let's do it. I'm down. So again, no plan. I don't even think I Googled Bocas. I just took these people's recommendation and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go with the flow. You know, why not explore it? I'm playing everything by ear and I'm trying to keep an open mind. So the only way I'm gonna know anything is not by researching on the internet, because the research I did on Panama City sounded like it would be a good fit for me, and it wasn't. So I have to just go and see for myself. So they told me how to get a bus ticket, and I was going to leave in a few days. Now, again, everything that I packed for Panama, those 2 bags that I brought with me, turned out to be more than I needed. I realized, okay, I'm taking on more of a backpacker lifestyle at this point. I'm not, just getting an apartment and relocating and staying put here in the city. I'm going to explore. I'm going to see what's out there, and I need to travel even lighter than what I am now. So I did a yard sale at the hostel. I went to the mall and I bought a backpacker backpack instead of having these luggage bags. And a few days later, I went to the bus station. I had no Spanish. I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing because I did zero research. So I basically walked around with a ticket in my hand saying Bocas, Bocas, and people directed me to the right bus. That bus, now knowing how to get to Bocas, I'm pretty sure I was on the wrong bus, because at one point I had to get off and make a change. And now I know that shouldn't have happened. I was probably on the wrong bus. So it was a miracle that I even arrived. Yeah, this is the beauty of going with the flow. I arrived in Bocas and immediately I felt at peace. I felt at home. I did book a hostel ahead of time. I think I was there for 2 weeks. The hostel was actually a camping hostel. So I had a tent with a little mattress, and it was in the heart of the jungle. It was quite extreme going from, suburban life in the US in Wisconsin to a tent in the Caribbean islands of Panama. The heat was too much for me to handle at that point. I had no fan. Of course, there's no air conditioning. I started handing out my English only CV. Don't know why I didn't translate it to Spanish. I don't know why, but I just went around town to every hotel, any kind of touristic place, trying to get a job. Eventually, I did get a job at another hostel. I was hired as an event planner. Now, this was a job, but I was technically a volunteer. So I didn't receive money. I just received accommodation and a meal. I eventually ended up finding a job, and the rest is history. And here I am 9 years later. I'm very grateful to be here. I have a greater appreciation for my home state. Wisconsin is a beautiful place with really friendly, warm people. So looking back on this long journey, what I've learned most for anyone who might consider relocating or taking on a challenge that's absolutely terrifying and you're really jumping into the unknown. I always assumed things were going to work out for me. And that's really what helped me keep an open mind, have a positive attitude, take on all these different jobs and challenges and go to new places. I just assumed everything's going to work out for me. Everything is going to be fine. And if it's not, I'll figure it out. I'll ask for help, whatever. But in the end, it'll be okay. And that helped me keep my confidence up and keep exploring this beautiful country. I will continue to live in Panama, but I also am ready to keep exploring other countries and see what else is out there because it's been a long time here. As I said, time flies. I've been having a blast, and I can't wait for the next chapter of life. Thanks for listening to my story, everyone. Don't forget to write the idioms in the comments if you have any questions about phrases, vocabulary, or anything that you heard while I spoke. Please write it in the comment and I will help you with that. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more English practice, and we'll see you next time.